Hey guys, welcome back to the Nordic Sound. Hope you're staying warm. It's been pretty much just single digits all week here in beautiful Colorado. So the next few reviews I'm going to be doing here on the channel are going to be catch up from some of the 2024 releases that just barely missed the top 10 of 2024 list that I really want to make sure that I talk about before the 2025 releases start swinging, as they will very soon. And again, also just a reminder about the new website where you can read all of these reviews at your leisure and sign up for the mailing list so you can keep up with the Nordic Sound, reviews, blogs, podcasts, that sort of thing, without needing social media. So I'm going to be starting my 2024 catch-up here with Bergart from the Norwegian Nordein. So Bergart is the fourth album from Nordein, the mostly solo project of multi-instrumentalist Jørn Øyhus, formerly of Nordein, also Beardy and Varda. I first encountered Nordein through Jørn's affiliation with Beardy, another neo-folk group that I highly regard, and I was drawn into Nordein by the project's mission statement. Rooted in the Nordic sound that predates the rise of Scandinavian black metal, Nordein draws on a tradition that is both melancholic and uplifting, reinterpreting it in ways that transcend cliches, often with folk-inspired music. So as I dove deeper into Nordein's discography, I found that while many bands can claim to be trying to transcend the cliches of their own styles, Nordein very much succeeds on this mission throughout their albums, owing much to the compositional approach, which incorporates many harmonic and modal elements from both prog rock and folk music, and the audacious orchestration that shakes up the expected sound palette of the neo-folk or the dark folk genres. This can only be accomplished by musicians who are actually aware of their own cliches enough to subvert them, to know exactly what it is you're trying to subvert, but also aware of the tradition that they draw from to know how to use that tradition in a new and innovative way. But I also want to make it clear that the subverting of these cliches, I would also rather call them stylistic tendencies, maybe in a more diplomatic way, is not total with Nordein, but I also don't think it should be total either. Instead, what unfolds in Bergart is that playful and sometimes even tense dance between the cliches, the stylistic tendencies, or progressive innovation. The album begins exactly as you would expect for this style in this sense. A dark and ominous atmosphere decorates the throat singing of Bergart, letting you know that yes, this is a dark folk record. But the way that the album slowly introduces new and progressive ideas to that typical style is actually pretty provocative. From Trollhjerte to Askervaren, a world of dark folk is intermixed with the modal mixture typical of Norwegian traditional folk music, with harmonic palettes and melodic gestures that might even seem jarring to those who might not be familiar with traditional Norwegian folk music, but are with dark folk. Except for that break in the middle of Trollhjerte, that is just pure uncut dungeon synth, and I am, of course, here for it. I also want to give a special shout out here to the guitar playing in Fanden Danse, which I've always associated with Jørn's unique creative voice and style. You guys know that I have a soft spot for well-played classical guitar, and I do truly believe that there is not nearly enough guitar like this in this genre. See Bear the Storyteller or Oftrukja for more artists who utilize this style of guitar beautifully. And if I'm going to be here on the topic of instrumentation, it would be criminal for me to not at least mention the invaluable contributions of nickel harpa player Mathias Gyllingam, who keeps the Nordein sound firmly grounded in the Nordic soundscape. But this whole album really comes online for me with Sagaland, however, when the progressive and innovative elements come to the forefront and stay there through the end of the record. Sagaland features another one of my favorite aspects of Nordein's music, and that is the use of vocal harmonies that are actually harmonies. In dark folk, neo-folk, male singers are often scared to leave the lower range, the baritone range. How can I be mysterious and brooding if I sing in a tenor range? But unfortunately, that means most harmonies in the genres don't actually fully explore the potential for 3 or even 4-part harmonies. So when Sagaland kicks into its B section around the 4-minute mark and opens up into a driving and open soundscape, it does quite literally feel like that transcendence talked about at the top of the review quoted from Nordein. And this uplifting and innovative energy sparked in Sagaland does continue through the end of the album, with Asken Embla proving to be a really effective and memorable album closer. So Bergart, I feel, makes a strong rhetorical statement by being structured in the way that it is, leaving the listener to constantly compare the cliches or stylistic tendencies of the dark folk genre with the new ideas throughout the album's runtime that come more to the surface as the album goes on, until by the second half, you're almost in an entirely new style from where we started. But on the creative side of things, the first half of the record shows just how familiar Yearn is with these cliches or stylistic tendencies. And as I said at the outset, you have to know the rules before you can break them, which is a familiar cliche in and of itself for artists. Then the second half of the record from Sagaland onwards then shows the potential for the genre when it isn't scared to try something new and is willing to engage with the traditional material that inspires it in a meaningful and creative way. So Bergart is not only rhetorically rich in commentary about the neo-folk or dark folk genres, but is also a captivating and immersive work of art in its own right. It's the ability to make great music while also provoking further thoughts about the music that we're listening to that always has me looking forward to whatever Nordein has in store for us next. So guys, thanks for watching this review. I hope you take a moment to listen to Nordein's Bergart and the rest of their discography too, if you still haven't. If you want to support the channel, head on over to patreon.com/Nordic Sound or check out the website over at nordicsoundarchive.com. Let me know what you think of the album or just the band in general down in the comments below, and I look forward to continuing the conversation. Take care.